Hi everybody, Aaron Portzine here. George Richards is with us from the Athletic Miami. Tom Reed is here. Allison Lucan is here. Blue Jackets 1-0 tonight in overtime. Zach Werenski with the winner, 154 in, a 1-0 game. I mean, a lot of times you might hear scoreless game into overtime and think not a lot going on. Allison, this was a pretty entertaining game.
This was a blast.
Yes.
I mean, it started off with an incredible pace, I thought, and both teams just really played well, which made it. And it wasn't even the nervous suspense kind of great game. It was just a great game, I thought.
Tom, it felt as though the Blue Jackets. I think you even asked the question to Werenski afterward. Certainly a back and forth game, but it never felt like the game was out of their control, if that's possible in a 0-0 game.
It just felt all night like they were winning 0-0.
Yeah,
if that's
interesting.
possible, right? I mean, it
Interesting.
just never felt like that the game was, and they easily could have lost the game,
Yeah.
but it just felt like they were again leading 0-0
Right.
through most of the
Yeah.
night.
Now this was a goaltending duel, as you can tell by the score. Elvis Merzlikins, his fourth shutout in his last 7 games. He's 7-0 in that stretch. 1.14 goals against average, a .965 save percentage. He has a 32 save shutout. Sergei Bobrovsky, you'll remember him, had a 44, made his first 44 saves until Werenski scored. George, this was a old school pitchers duel here in the NHL tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this was the Bobrovsky's big return. I mean, I talked to him after the game, and Bob said, the last time we were here, he wasn't himself. He felt like maybe
yeah.
all the stuff going back to the condo that hasn't sold, seeing his old coffee place, whatever, all the things,
Yeah.
all those memories come flooding back, maybe affected him in that New Year's Eve game. Zach getting a hat trick probably didn't help, but tonight there was none of that. I mean, there was no video, there was no walk down memory lane. Tonight was about a hockey game, and I'll tell you what, Sergei Bobrovsky, watching him all season long, tonight was his best game of the season. He was in control of that game. He wasn't winning 0-0. I mean, Columbus was. Bob was in
He was
control.
square.
all
He
night.
was square to shoot.
he was.
I mean, he
He
made
played
that
well.
the one great save on Seth Jones where he was scrambling and
Right.
put his hand up. But I thought for the most part he was, as they say, be there, be square on shooters all night.
Yeah.
Now there was the one stretch, I think a big stretch for Columbus, Allison, late in the second period, a double minor high sticking penalty to Scott Harrington. They killed that off late second, they killed the rest of it off early third. And they looked like they did it without breaking a sweat. It was a very controlled penalty kill.
I mean, this is what this team excels at. And at one point, even with a couple offensive chances, to which Tom exclaimed, "Power kill."
Oh, the power kill, yeah. Well, that's you. Have you trademarked that yet?
No, but it was reminiscent of last year's penalty kill. I thought, particularly without Alexander Wenberg, who's such a big part of that unit. I think it was a huge part of this game, and I think it continued to give them that boost to just keep going.
Yeah. Tom,
And Florida, real quick, Florida has one of the best power plays in the
Yes.
league, and they were befuddled.
Yeah.
They couldn't get anything into the gaps. They couldn't get, I mean, there were so many sticks down. Florida could not get anything going. They come into the third period with, 150 left of power play time, and you're thinking, okay, fresh ice, we're
Sure.
going to get this 1-0
Right.
lead right here and
Intermission,
there.
maybe
And what
regroup.
did they get?
Yeah.
Maybe 10, 15 seconds of zone time? Columbus completely shut down one of the better power plays in the league. Barkov wasn't in there for Florida,
Right.
but still, completely neutralized
Yeah.
them, and that was huge.
and their best shot was right at the end.
Right.
I think it was a Hoffman one-timer right at the end of that
Right at
penalty
the end of
kill.
that penalty.
But other than that, it was pretty under control. Tom, you've done a lot of Werenski talk. You've done a lot of stuff on Zach Werenski through the years. That overtime goal seemed to be classic Werenski, where he's got the puck on his stick, but it's not a classic defenseman on the stick type pose. He waits for Cam Atkinson to draw 2 guys away from him and then snipe.
Yeah, I mean, he just, and we've seen this, sometimes fans that guy has no panic in his game, whatever, and sometimes people are like, panic! Like when you're going back for a
Please
puck,
panic.
please, try it. And that
Casual Zach, is that?
Right, yeah,
Yes.
that was classic casual Zach.
Yeah.
He just comes out of the corner, as he was saying, he thinks the guy that was on him kind of went the wrong way, and that bought him time. He looks up, where he wants to go is Cam Atkinson, maybe, if that's his
Right.
first read, 2 guys kind of gravitate toward Cam, that lane's wide open,
Yeah.
and he's not passing at that point.
Yeah.
He just picks a corner and puts it in.
Yeah, and Cam's calling for the puck too, which probably helps too. On the ice, he's screaming for it. That affects things. George, you poked around the Florida's room after this. Was there any talk about Merzlikins? This is a young guy that is kind of catching the league a little bit by surprise. I think people in Columbus have been anticipating him. I don't think people around the league necessarily have. He has taken the league by storm here
Yeah.
a bit. Anything from the Panthers about how well he played?
Well, he's given up 1 goal in 2 games to Florida, one of the highest scoring teams
Right.
in the league. Florida went into the break as the leading scoring team in the NHL, and he's given up 1 goal in 2
Right.
games. And the first time you could say, okay, they've never seen this kid before. Tonight, you kind of know him a little bit.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of tape. You can scout him a little bit, and they get shut out by him. And Bob was very complimentary. Said that he likes a lot of the things he sees. He sees Elvis as a goalie that's in control, that doesn't go crazy, doesn't flop around, moves very well side to side. Again, he was helped out by Columbus's defense because, again, Florida got a lot of grade A chances taken away. But you've got to give credit to Elvis. Again, another top-notch performance. And, yeah, he is taking the league by storm. And this Columbus team right now is taking the league by storm.
They came into this game, I think, you looked it up, 3rd in goals against?
Yeah, they
Just
might-
just a
yes.
fraction behind Dallas.
Yeah, they might be first after this.
And you bring up a very good point. Elvis was very good, but again, and even Torts mentioned this, he was very good, but in the second and third periods, he didn't see a ton of
Right.
chances,
Yeah.
just because from a team concept, they're playing so well in front of him, and they're trying to generate offense,
Sure.
which I'm sure Bob. To go back to Bob for a second, Bob probably wishes he had some of those defensemen in front of him this year.
I think, listen, I talked to Bob a couple weeks ago, and we talked about his statistics in Florida and the changes, and he said it's taken longer than he thought it would to adjust to what Florida does, because Florida does not play defense like Columbus does. Not even close.
Yeah.
And you look at the stats, it's a goal differential. Now, Florida scores at a goal differential better.
Yeah.
But they give up a goal differential. And I know a lot of people are looking at Bob, the $10 million man, and throwing all the blame there. But if you watch the games, it's not on him.
You wrote about this extensively a week or 2 ago. What do you see? What have you seen?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what George is saying. I mean, if you look at the shot quality allowed by both of these teams over the span that Bob has been a starter, this is the worst defense in that sense. This is the hardest workload he's ever faced. And Florida is known to be the leading team in the league in allowing those cross-zone passes, which, as we know, challenges a goaltender for that lateral movement. They also give up some really soft spots in front of the net. And just as George said, there's a relationship that has to come there between defense and goaltender. And as that's building, a goaltender, if they're not really feeling in sync, the goaltender will start to overcompensate, and that's when the mistakes come.
And the Panthers also seem to have a tendency to do some dumb things at weird times. Bob's really not used to seeing that either, because there's so much consistency in how Columbus plays. The forwards, too, coming back. I mean, this is a five-person defense. It's not just the defensemen. They do dumb stuff. They turn the puck over in weird places that Columbus did not do. At least the year I covered them, they didn't do it. Bob's all of a sudden like, what was that? Where'd that come from? And it's a little bit, it's something he's going to have to get used to, and maybe that's just his new reality here, at least for the time being.
Dumb things, bad time, not a good thing.
No.
Let me ask you, I mean, you've covered this team from the outset, from the very beginning. It was funny because Torch was talking about how everyone's like on this Elvis bandwagon,
Yeah.
everyone's got the pom-poms. But you have seen some really great starts to careers. We saw Steve Mason have a
Sure.
Rookie of the Year season. You probably, Nash probably had some good stretches early. For you, where does this start? Granted, he did not have a great first month or two, but this
Yeah.
run that he's on, as far as star power,
Well, it's I mean, star power, it might be singular in that. I mean, Bobrovsky, when you win a Vezina trophy, you are in a different echelon than the rest of the league.
but he was an established player.
for
He was
sure.
established in Philadelphia.
Well,
Well,
12-13 he wasn't.
not really,
12-13 he wasn't. The first year here when he won the Vezina, he was not. That came out of nowhere.
Right.
Steve Mason came out of nowhere. If we're just looking at goaltenders, his rookie season was incredible,
Right.
especially the start that he went on. Sort of faded down the stretch and certainly in the playoffs, but that was incredible. I mean, I think Elvis has the benefit here of being on a team that knows how to win.
Yes.
Where the team coming out of 11-12 was just a complete cluster. The team back in 08-09 was the first time they'd ever done it. So it was all new for everybody. So, that was, for Steve Mason, take nothing away from that kid. That was an incredible run. He won the Calder Trophy that year, almost won the Vezina. Bobrovsky certainly in 12-13. This Elvis thing is, what's interesting to me is that the team is still trying to keep this under
Good
control
luck
and
with
not
that.
let Elvis. I mean, NHL Network's tweeting these great graphics of him. The crowd's chanting Elvis. I mean, he is a rock star. He's what he's always dreamed to be. He's just getting started. Certainly, you don't know where it's going to go, but he can't be. There's no way he could be off to a much better start, at least with the stretch that he's been on since December, whatever it was, 24th, 30th, 31st when he started.
31st.
New Year's Eve.
First start was
took
good
over.
for
Yeah.
it. And there was a famous rock star named Elvis. I don't know if you guys knew.
There was.
Costello.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I don't remember his name, but there was a
He
fun
had the hits. He
I
had
think
the
you have
hits.
to hit Allison.
And the hips. And the hips. Oh, you're thinking Elvis Costello?
Well, that's what we said.
Yeah, right.
You
I was
know,
thinking-
you can't hear.
No, well, you're on the best
All
side.
right, what else?
You're on the good side for me. That's it. The Blue Jackets practice Wednesday tomorrow. They'll back at it Thursday, and then game on Friday. Detroit is in town.
Detroit is in town.
Are you going to be able to handle this with the Hockey Analytics Conference coming?
Who needs
Are
sleep?
you sleeping well?
No.
No. Excellent. Folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for reading. Thanks for listening. George Richard, sorry. Thanks for joining us.
It's good,
Hey,
to,
hey, big fella.
good to finally join you guys on one of these.
Tom Reed, thanks for being here.
Good
Allison
Captain
Lucan, of
Dog.
course.
All right.
We'll talk to you soon.
Hit the button, Allison.